My name is Julia Foster, and at 32, I've built a life I once thought was impossible. I'm a data analyst in Orlando, Florida, thriving in a tech company that challenges me, rewards me, and lets me live comfortably. Every time I step into my modern apartment, I remind myself how far I've come from those nights when the fridge was nearly empty and my father's tired smile was the only warmth in the room. But success has a strange way of stirring up ghosts you thought you buried. It started on an autumn evening, the sky dim with rain clouds. I was sipping tea, half lost in a spreadsheet, when a sharp knock on my door cut through the silence. I wasn't expecting anyone. When I opened it, my breath caught. Standing there was the woman I hadn't seen in 23 years, my mother, Marie Stone, and beside her, a boy who looked barely 20, slouched and unimpressed, my half-brother, Caleb. Her smile was wide but rehearsed. "Julia, my sweet girl," she said, reaching out to hug me like no time had passed. I stood frozen. Her perfume was the same as it was the day she left, a faint floral scent that had once lingered in our small Ohio kitchen before she walked out with a suitcase and no explanation. When I was 9, my parents divorced, and Mom disappeared. She started a new life with another man while Dad and I were left behind to pick up the pieces. He ran a tiny diner, flipping pancakes at dawn and wiping tables past midnight. I watched him crumble beneath the weight of bills, his hands calloused, his eyes weary but kind. I worked my first job at 13, cleaning houses and babysitting just to keep the lights on. He told me I was stronger than the pain she left behind. I believed him. And for years, I did everything to prove him right. College came as an escape. 4 years of sleepless nights, multiple jobs, and relentless studying until I earned a scholarship in data analytics. I clawed my way to where I am now, brick by brick, promise by promise. So seeing her on my doorstep, smiling, uninvited, after decades of silence, was like the universe playing a cruel joke. She glanced around my apartment, her eyes landing on the furniture, the city view, the quiet signs of comfort. Then came the real reason she was there. "I heard you've been doing well. Caleb's about to start college. Tuition's $60,000. We were hoping you could help. Maybe $3,000 a month." Her tone was sweet, practiced. Caleb didn't even look up from his phone when he added, "Yeah, this place is nice. You could probably afford it." I felt my chest tighten. They weren't here for family. They were here for money. I told them I'd think about it, mostly to get them out the door. But that night, I couldn't sleep. Part of me, some broken, hopeful part, wondered if this was a second chance. Maybe helping her would fix something deep inside me. A few days later, we met again at a small cafe. She started crying halfway through her latte, saying Dad had kept us apart all those years, that he'd poisoned me against her. Lies. I'd lived those years, her absence, her silence, and yet she looked at me like she believed her own words. Caleb jumped in, demanding a car and a new phone to fit in at college. That was the breaking point. "You're asking me to pay for tuition, a car, and a phone?" I said, trying to keep my voice calm. Caleb scoffed. "You're loaded. What's the big deal?" Mom's voice turned cold. "I gave you life, Julia. The least you could do is give something back." It was as if every wound she'd ever caused reopened at once. I stood up and walked out, the sound of my chair scraping the floor sharp as a gunshot. I thought it was over, until the next afternoon when they showed up at my apartment again. This time their smiles were tighter, more forced. I let them in against my better judgment, hoping to end things peacefully. I went to the kitchen for water, and when I came back, Caleb was sitting at my desk, scrolling through my laptop. My banking app was open. "What are you doing?" I snapped. He shrugged, "Just checking it out." Mom didn't flinch. "We were curious, Julia. You've got so much. Why hide it?" That's when I saw it. My father's email forwarded to her. It contained my income details, my job title, everything. She'd hacked his account. My stomach turned cold. "You went through Dad's email?" I demanded. Her eyes narrowed. "He never deserved you. I just wanted to see how you turned out." That was enough. "Get out," I said, my voice shaking with fury, "or I'll call the police." She sneered. "You'd call the cops on your own mother?" "I would," I said, "because family doesn't do this." They stormed out, slamming the door behind them. My hands were trembling as I checked my accounts. Failed login attempts, password resets, everything confirming what I already knew. I called Dad that night, tears choking my voice. He wasn't surprised. He said, "That's Marie. Always taking, never giving." With his help, I filed for a restraining order. My lawyer gathered every screenshot, every email, every attempt to access my bank. Within weeks, a judge barred them from contacting me. It felt like freedom and heartbreak all at once. But they didn't stop. My bank flagged a $10,000 transfer attempt that same month. They'd tried again. This time, the system I'd built to protect my data stopped them cold. It was proof that no matter how far she'd go, I was finally out of her reach. A year passed. The gossip spread. Mom and Caleb's circle abandoned them, tired of their manipulation. They moved to a small town, isolated, angry, forgotten. Meanwhile, I sought therapy with Dr. Ellen Brooks, who helped me unravel years of guilt. She told me, "You've been carrying her choices. It's time to let them go." And I did. I started a small charity to fund scholarships for kids like me, children of single parents struggling to make ends meet. Every time a kid gets their first acceptance letter, I think of Dad, wiping his hands on his diner apron, telling me I could do anything. He visits often now. We sit on my balcony, watching the city lights flicker. He tells me he's proud of me. I tell him he's the reason I made it. And when people ask about family, I tell them this. Family isn't the one you're born into. It's the one that stays when everything falls apart. So if you've ever faced betrayal from someone you once called home, don't let it define you. Build your own home. Build your own peace. Because sometimes the family you choose is the only one that truly loves you back.